Hello and welcome to MGP386. I'm Kev, and with me as ever there's Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
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 If anyone's wondering why Anna is so aggressively saying hello, it's because this is our third run-through of doing the intro. A professional podcast would have just done it the same way they always do it the third time.
I'm making sure
but,
you can see it.
Not us. We don't need to see it, Anna. We just need to hear it. That's what we couldn't do last time.
So I was making sure you could hear it.
I wondered whether that noise we all thought was the door banging every time we did our clap, whether that was just Anna dropping her mic and leaving, and then going, "Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be saying hello."
Yeah, we tried that intro 3 times, and the first 2 times nothing from Anna, but she claims she was saying hello over and over again.
Why wouldn't I say hello?
Nobody believes her.
That's just mean.
I am going to need someone else to take the reins on this podcast this week because I still feel desperately sick from trying to play Iron Man VR earlier. So I'll do my best when we get to the point where we're talking about games to be involved. But my word, am I still feeling a little queasy 3 hours later? So
probably not one for me then.
No, definitely not one for you. How is everybody on this fine week? We've launched into games too soon the last 2 weeks. I need to make sure that there's nonsense going on.
I've had a bit of a stressful week in that mainly from my wife's job perspective, but she frightened me earlier in the week. And I'm pretty
saw
sure
her
I
earlier this week.
She came in to buy face masks for me, didn't she?
She did.
Yeah. That's why I asked you about them, funny enough. But she came bursting into the kitchen the other day. She literally kicked the door open and I went, "You all right?" And she went, "I've just had a call. My mum's gone into..." And I thought she was going to say that her mum's gone into hospital having had a heart attack. I literally jumped out of the chair thinking, "Oh my God, I've got to figure everything out." And she went, "Labour."
What?
And I went, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, the baby's early. I don't know what to do."
Whose baby?
And I was just like, "Your mum's in her 70s. What are you on about?" And it's just like, I sat back down, waiting to catch up, thinking I don't understand. And then it turns out in her job, they always call their people they're working with their mums, like the mum on her case. And this case had gone into labour early. And she's had to move this woman to Yorkshire and faff around doing all this stuff. And but I've still not recovered from this moment of A, thinking her mum was ill, but B, thinking that I was about to get a sister-in-law or a brother. Wasn't expecting. It's like so many questions went through my head. But yeah.
The best thing there would have been if she'd have been like, "Yeah, you've known about this for months."
Yeah, well, this is it.
How do you keep forgetting?
It's like I saw her at the weekend. She was drinking. But no, so then, yeah, my wife's been off driving people across country all day, so I've had to try and parent while doing work, which should be easy, but it really bloody wasn't. They've had more takeaways today than at any point over the past month. Or 2. There's not that many, but they've had 2 takeaways today because for some reason, we both assumed she'd just go to Yorkshire and back in about 5 hours and she'd be back to cook dinner. But it turns out it's quite far away and she's still not back yet. So I had to quickly call on the chippy to sort us out because we had nothing and I weren't prepared to try and drag her around the supermarket.
That's why the chippy was closed to orders when we tried to order ours.
I wouldn't have bothered. Jesus, it was the worst. I think they just got whatever mouldy old spuds they had lying around because I gave my kids the first batch out of the bag and then I got the next batch and they were all brown with black bits in them and I was just so stressed and wound up that I ate them anyway, and I just thought that was horrible. That was the grimmest experience. Claire was going, "Just give them a bad review," and I was like, "No, because they know us, and I feel like
we've got frequent flyer miles with them.
We'll only ever get bad spuds if I slate them." I wondered whether this was a message because I sent her a message on Facebook saying, "Have you is there something wrong with the Just Eat ordering system because you never put salt and vinegar on the chips like I asked you to?" And they were like, "We didn't know you were telling us to." And I tried to explain to them where I've been writing the note. And I think they probably just thought, right, that's it. He's getting from the mouldy pile from now on.
Because you ordered all the food, when we got to trying to order our fish and chips off of Just Eat, the chip shop was no longer taking orders. So I had to do some research around other places on Just Eat, looked at an alternative place and just thought, well, we've not been here before. Let's have a look through the reviews. And every time there was a negative review, the guy who runs it was just going, "Well, you're blocked then. Don't bother coming back."
I know where that is. I've been enjoying the online vendetta against him because someone said, "Yeah, I ordered a pizza and it had plastic in it," and he went, "Wasn't plastic. It was the outside of a salami." Like,
Someone said, our pizza came and it was cold and burnt, and he said, "Well, you've never had proper pizza before if it wasn't burnt, blocked." And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not ordering from you then, you crazy idiot.
Yeah, he's insane. I've watched, because he is so prolifically insane, I've watched YouTube videos of him just ranting because people were sharing how insane he is. I've read the reviews. He actually turned reviews off on Facebook. You can't see his reviews because people were just like, yeah, everything I ordered come completely destroyed. They sent a second meal and it was even worse than the first meal. And so people try and defend him. People are like, I've ordered from there and it was great. And it's like, no one's saying you can't enjoy your meal from there. They're just saying when it's got lumps of plastic in it, he should just accept that it's got lumps of plastic in it. But insane customer service. I'd love to charge him like £100 to give him a customer service lesson and just say, stop slagging off your customers. Don't ban people when they complain. Stop putting plastic in your food. Job done. I'd turn that man's life around. Stop being
That being said, 5 out of 5 would go again. It was lovely.
Oh, did you order in the end then?
No, we went somewhere else. I looked at that one and thought, I don't think I would order from this guy. I don't even know where it is. It's
near where I used to
I've never
live.
seen before. Is it?
Yeah, with that old computer shop.
Okay. Oh, okay. I know where that is then. Interesting. But we ended up having to have a third option in the end, because we live in a ridiculous place where if you go on Just Eat, there's 11 Indians that deliver, 1 Chinese, like 8 pizza places, and the 1 fish and chip shop that if you don't order by 5 o'clock, you've got no chance.
Yeah, it was
'cause
5
they're
to
closed
5
to
I ordered.
orders. Yeah, I went on there at 20 past 5. This restaurant is no longer taking orders for today. They've been open 40 minutes.
They got my order out of the bin, so I think you're probably lucky. But we have so many Indians that
Clip that.
no, that
There's the intro for you, Pab.
They scale from 5-star to the one that I thought was really nice, and then I looked them up and
Clip it all. Take my bit out and take this whole quote. We're having all of this.
I don't understand what I'm saying wrong now, but the one I told you to order from that ended up being a 2-star. Their hygiene rules were so poor. I just basically have ruined us both. We're probably both going to die a decade earlier because I convinced you to buy food from there. I don't understand how they run either. They're another place where I could make a few bob saying, wash your hands, store your food in a fridge. Just turn their lives around by showing them basic hygiene. It's just, I feel like that's our new career sorted.
I think that's where we ordered from in the end.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't ordered from there since I saw their hygiene rules because I just can't. Even though the food was brilliant, I loved it. It's probably the nicest curry I'll ever have in my life, and I'm not ordering from there because all I can imagine now is they're literally rolling everything in poop.
I'm now sanitising my hands just to make it better.
Yeah.
That'll fix it. Give my hands a good old sanitise.
Just wash your mouth out with a bit of water.
No, I'm licking hand sanitizer off of my hands. I think I got high on my stream last night from having too much hand sanitizer on, and I think the fumes just...
I don't think it'd be high. You'd just be drunk, wouldn't you? It's alcohol.
Well, it's the same thing, isn't it? But
I don't know.
I'm
I'm trying it at the moment. I'm on my second gin.
I accidentally did a double squirt and ended up having to rub it all the way up my arms just to put it somewhere. And then the stream went off the rails a little bit, so I think it was the fault of the hand sanitizer. I think I was hammered.
Drunk.
Yeah, absolutely smashed on hand sanitizer.
Yeah, I just get messages going, he's sniffing hand sanitizer. I'm like,
I wasn't sniffing
excuse
it. I was
me?
trying to find
Who's
somewhere to
messaging
put
you?
it.
when he's on stream, people message me to come
I
and
was on
help
one the other
him.
day and they said Anna's
Anna
here.
regularly gets reports of what I'm up to, so she can come and drag me back into line. Usually,
That's
if
why
I'm
you come
it-
on and tell him off because he was being mean when he won when he was Kevy 3 times.
Oh, he was being annoying though. He was
I
just
bet they
being
deserved
annoying.
it. They were really mean to him and he won again.
I know, but he can be a gracious winner.
No, I can't.
I think he's been
I
gracious twice now.
I haven't got that in me, Anna. I can't be a gracious winner. I've got bells.
I don't
but
know.
you
No,
won
I think
before.
time one, you were like, see, you don't have to click, and that was your point. You put the mic down. You said you've been mean to me. You don't have to click. Time 2, you were like, I can't believe I've done it twice. Thank you. Time 3, they were like, he's got no chance. 1,000 to 1 odds. He's an idiot. He's a moron. He's washed up. And you were just like, Won again.
Wasn't even hard the third time. It was never in doubt. The only point I ever had, there was any ever. Let's try that again, Kev. It's because I've just put hand sanitizer on again. This stuff ruins me.
He's gone.
I know. This is like the kidney stone podcast all over again. But the only time I was ever in any chance of getting knocked out, that's still not a sentence, was in the first knockout round where I forgot I'd left my goalkeeper up for corners from the final knockout round, from the final group game. And my goalkeeper went up for corners and... they had a shot from the edge of their own penalty area that went in, and it was a little bit hard from there. But we turned it around in the second leg, went through on penalties, and absolutely smashed the semi-final and absolutely smashed the final. There was never a moment of doubt or worry in the final 2 rounds of that. It was just absolutely on cruise control. Kevy 3 times. Ding, ding, ding. Ring those bells.
They're going to have to come up with
everybody.
some sort of rule to stop you winning again, surely, because it's...
They keep trying, but I think the best way for them to, and I've said this to them, the best way for them to stop me winning is to stop being rubbish at Football Manager.
Yeah.
Try beating me.
They
need to bring on some credible competition.
It's mad.
It's
very entertaining, though, and if people aren't watching, and I'm not just saying this isn't rehearsed or a plug for Kev or anything like that, but even Claire sat with me watching this the other day and just thought it was hilarious. It was just funny watching... I mean, your goalkeeper scoring was absurd. You forgetting to put him back once you were up was absurd. And it was just all fun. And, yeah, it was just entertaining hearing Benji get all wound up. And, yes, it's football, but it's not really. It's different from football because it's just... it'd be like watching football on Sky, but instead of listening to the idiot commentators, you've got Mourinho and Klopp just going, whoa! just bemoaning their decisions live and commentating on their own management and being ridiculous about it. That's why it's entertaining, because it's just absurd. It was very fun. And
the really crazy thing is it's getting like 3,000 or 4,000 combined views at any one time. I think unique viewers, there was over 20,000 unique viewers over the course of the 3 days.
Crikey,
for
awesome.
Football Manager. We were being out. We had more views than some proper esports. We're taking over the world. Football Manager is the one, boys and girls. You need to get involved. I've been telling you this for 10 years. Now's finally the time. It's half price at the moment. Get on board. Find out what all the fuss is about, or
it's
just
free
follow
on
me.
Xbox Game Pass, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's free. If you've got Game Pass, it's free.
He's got to stop talking over the channel link. Follow me at twitch.tv/Lelujo and you can watch it again next time it's on. He did it. He's apologising over it. He's still talking over it. Need to tape him shut. Goodness me. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to descend into Streamer Showdown and plugs. But
but it's worth mentioning. I wanted to acknowledge the fact you won it 3 times, and it was highly entertaining. And if plus from our point of view as listeners to the show and people that know you, it is more entertaining knowing the winner. Do you know what I mean? If I was Zealand's mate or Benji's mate, I'd probably be like, that guy's a bit annoying. He keeps winning, but it's more fun knowing the winner. That's I imagine that's how Liverpool fans feel this week.
I am the Liverpool of the Football Manager world. I think that's the most common comparison.
You do have Van Dijk most of the time when you succeed.
Well, yeah, usually it's built on Liverpool players. The first 2, it was all about Virgil and Fabinho. This time, it was Joe Thromes and Trent Alexander-Arnold were my boys. So I always have a Liverpool core in my winning teams.
You always make the mistake of getting a Spurs player or 2 in, and every time I see him, I wince. I mean, you were moaning about Son.
Yeah, they're cheap. So I think, we've got to go right with one of these at some point.
They were Champions League finalists last year.
Yeah. How can they be this poor? I don't understand. But without fail, they always are.
Yeah, always. It's a miserable experience. But, yeah, so other than seeing you win a tournament and think my mother-in-law was pregnant earlier in the week, this week has been pretty fun overall. We should probably get into games now.
Yes, we should. Do you have any more Last of Us waffle? I've not touched it since last week's show.
Yeah, can do.
So if you don't want to waffle...
Where were you 18 hours, did you say?
Yeah,
Kev.
about that. I don't remember. I've not played it for about 10 days now. I'm going to try and get it finished this weekend.
I was going to say, you're still ahead of me. I'm only like 11 and a half, 12 hours in.
I think I'm about 2/3 of the way through the game.
Yeah. It's getting harder, I tell you that. Like, I imagine it gets even harder when you get to where you adults are, but me in the kid leagues, Yeah, I started day 3 and I just thought, Christ, this is hard. I was like, how do I sneak through this? Do I sneak through it? Do I want to just
Yeah, but the thing is, you don't have to. You can just pass them all. You can go guns blazing if you want to, or you just sneak by them all and leave them to it. Like,
I feel like a madman for saying it, but I really enjoyed sneaking through, just stabbing people and telling them to shush and laying them down. And I not because of that. I'm not a psychopath. What I enjoyed was how and I realised after doing that for about 10 minutes that I'm playing it on easy mode, so I'm not achieving anything.
Yeah.
But it was just cool sneaking past people and sneaking into doorways and sneaking around corners. There was a point where I really felt like I was playing it on easy because a guy walked around the corner with another guy, and one went off in one direction, just looking up around and really obviously looking like, oh, there's no one in front of me. And he looked back a few times and then he carried on walking, and his friend just stood around on his own, and I just leapt out, killed him, and leapt back and his mate just didn't look back at all. And I just thought any normal real person would have heard that. If I was on a harder mode, he'd have absolutely heard that because I wasn't discreet at all.
Yeah.
But this guy just carried on walking into the distance like, I'm sure mate is back there standing in the corner where I left him. I had to do a chase thing that was quite fun and stuff like that. That was all interesting. But yeah, it's a very good story, as we said every time. And I'm just, I think I get a bit put off playing it because it's getting stressful. And if I have a stressful day at work, I kind of think I don't want to do a stressful day at work, have my dinner and everything, put the kids to bed, then sit down and stress myself out on Last of Us. So I've only played it the days this week where I've not had a particularly stressful day and I'm having a bit of a weird week. So I think next week looks a lot clearer, so I should be able to get a lot more done without feeling like... I tried to relax and watch Tottenham play, and they were diabolical. So I ended up turning that off and going and playing Last of Us to feel better. That's how weird my week's been. But yeah, no, it's fantastic, and I'm guessing later on in the game is still as good. It hasn't gone downhill at all, no.
No, I'm 28 hours in. The detail in this game is ridiculous. I just look at it and go, like, you see things, and I'm like, that's like they've thought about that. Like it, I don't want to spoil stuff, but it's ridiculous. But I love it. It's good. Think I'm near the end ish. I got past the bit I was stuck at with the access. Yeah, with the settings for people who have who can't see dark and light, past that, but it's good. I'm enjoying it, but like, again, you can't say anything about it because you have to live in that game and you have to experience it for yourself. But it's good.
What about you, Pap?
I think I almost messaged you. What can't be yesterday? Day before Wednesday, and I think I got to that bit where you were stuck on in the dark.
Yeah,
I was like, is that with a big boy? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I did that, and it did take me a few goes.
Yeah.
I got lucky, and where am I now? I'm at 26 hours.
Okay.
And I'm told that I was reliably told today you have no more than 2 hours left.
You have what?
No more than 2 hours left. So.
Oh, okay.
So I got to the point where I think the ending was coming, and then the job isn't done, as they say.
Okay.
So, yeah, I thought I was done, and apparently I'm not done.
I've been there. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. This is good. I don't mind this, and then it's like, oh, okay. Fair enough.
It's quite funny hearing you guys talk like this, because I was saying to my wife that when we first were all playing it and you lot were all talking about lifts, every time I went near a lift, I was like, am I at the lift bit? Is this the lift bit? Is this the bit they were talking about with lifts in it? And then I knew when I was at that. And then you were talking about big boys last week, and I keep seeing things in buildings and thinking, is that going to be a big boy that they're talking about? Is this the big boy? And then it's like, it's not. It's just a weird lump on a wall or something.
There's plenty of big boys. Don't worry, there's plenty of big boys for you to be dealing with.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about those ones that vomit stuff out.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, they're big boys. Yeah.
Is that the only big boy, or is there other big boys?
There's like
There's variations
there's
of
big
them.
boys.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
I don't think
There's
in the
not-
first one there was the stalkers.
They weren't even. The stalkers weren't in it. I don't think.
No.
Are they
I
the
don't-
ones that are a bit more intelligent?
They don't want to attack you. They kind of run away and you kind of
Yeah,
hide. And
that
just
is
kind of
scary.
try to wait to
me
get
out.
you.
They were horrific. I went into a bloody building,
Yeah.
and I saw one just kind of acknowledge that I was there and then scuttle off.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
just thought that saw me, and
I
obviously
do
they
not
can't see
like
because
them.
they're fungusy. But that was horrific. That was horrible. I mean, like I mentioned before, my answer to everything in this is throw a Molotov cocktail at it and
Yeah.
just hope. I was so delighted to get to upgrade them so they spread a bit more fire. I was in a bit where I lobbed one. I lobbed one at one problem, and another problem created itself, but that problem all fled towards the fire and burnt. I was so proud of
Yeah,
myself.
I
was
did,
just
yeah,
like,
that's how
there's
it
something
is.
there. I better throw a Molotov at it, and then the fire just carried on going. And I thought, this is what it's like to just win. This is just the best laid plan. But yeah, those things creep me out. And I think I was in a room where there was like 4 different holes I could go through, and I thought, oh, which one do I pick? And then I ended up just lobbing an empty bottle through, and tons of them bloody things started coming to the hole. So again, I just set fire to it. So number one gambit, throw a Molotov down, and they all just killed themselves. It was brilliant. But
It is funny.
yeah,
You can't do that.
they creep me out no end. They're horrible because they just seem a little bit more intelligent. I can't decide. Are they like? I mean, being a nerd, I look at this and I think the infected people are like the recently got. Aren't they?
Yeah.
And then when you're a big old fungus face, you're quite far gone. But if you're intelligent, is that suddenly a bit further along, or is that
I think
like
it's like a different species, like kind of different breed sort of thing, maybe, or how the virus has like affected the certain people and certain things.
I assumed the
maybe.
big boys were like, if you've just been so massively fungicized, you're just a big old mushroom.
I don't know. Yeah.
They should
I don't know that one.
I know that one's just come out, but they should do one with when it was where the first one started, but stay there, not jump the 20-year leap, and just how things evolve in them 20 years.
I saw a funny meme called The First of Us that was about cavemen. I thought that'd be quite good. I'd love a spin-off called The First of Us, where you're just the first man leaving the cave and just have the same engine but a completely different story. It'd be great. They need to do it. I feel like there's a petition there. They just need to make their caveman game where you just got to go around beating up mammoths and stuff. Just why not? It'd be brilliant.
Isn't that like Primal?
Oh.
Far Cry.
Yeah, but in that,
Yeah.
set up limited resources, stealth around, just play as a cave girl, Ellie. But yeah, no, this game is still great. It's not going to have got worse in a week. I was a little bit worried that you two would be like, it's rubbish now, I'm over it, or something like that. Or
So-
No, I think the people that say it's rubbish they just need to check themselves out, really, because it's ridiculous. Because it's such a good story. I really don't know why people don't like it, but
I had to ban someone from my YouTube comments because they were being a spoilery idiot.
I hate that. That would be could not live with that.
Yeah.
I
It's,
did it on 2 different videos, so I banned them, and then I thought, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for there to be another game, and I'm just going to go on their channel and just be like, Mario beats Bowser at the end of this game.
So, I said this before we recorded, and I'm going to say it again now. Kev's
I
not
don't
going
know
to know.
what this means, Pav. and,
Just don't say anything. Don't even think about it. It's just something I've got to say, because I feel like this game has proper Metal Gear Solid 2'd me, and people who know what that means know what that means, and you don't need to think about it if you don't. I'm not explaining it. And I've been proper not disappointed by it, but
it's a different experience to what you were expecting to have.
I've been kind of. It's not even that. It's just. It's something I probably need to articulate better when we can do a spoiler cast, or we can talk about it openly, because it's like I was just. it gets you so far, and then you're like, oh, okay, and then it's like, oh, it's very good. It is very good, but I feel like I've been duped a little bit, but I'm nearly
I hope that
done.
makes sense to me more when I get to the end, because I don't know. I'm just.
Well,
I guess you're just saying it's not what you were expecting to get when you bought it.
Yeah, it's not that. It's like, you know what I mean. It's story and plot and everything. You know what I mean. It's everything. It's going places that you don't expect. That's what we're saying of a very good game, where you don't see the twists coming and stuff like that. That's what you don't see where the plot goes.
Yeah, I have.
So yeah, in many aspects, it's a good thing. Sorry.
I have.
Yes.
Like, I keep looking at them, go, really?
Yeah.
Are you going that way? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly, and yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm in end game, and I'll be streaming the end tomorrow on my Twitch channel. People requested it this evening, and I'll finish it tomorrow, so I'll be streaming it tomorrow. And I don't know if people are doing it just because they want to see me cry on stream or something. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know. I don't know, but we'll find out. But yeah, it's a very good game. It's considerably better than it controls better than the first one. It plays better than the first one. Whether overall by the end of it I'll think it's a better story than the first one, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there's some. Again, this last week I said, like, the game was very heavy and it gets you. It's like really hard to play at times. There's some real gut punches I've seen in this game, in this past week again, and it's like it's constantly just punching you in the gut and just like you got to push through it and you got to carry on. It's it's been hard again, but yeah, I've enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it for what it is.
That's what you can ask for, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It's whether it'll be Game of the Year, we don't know.
Well, it's one of the last this generation, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
what else is there that could be Game of the Year at the moment, other than
the Ghost of
Tsushima?
Yeah, that looks
Tsushima.
good. So I can't see anything else coming out.
The Marvel one's still out this year, yeah?
September.
At some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect, but that looks really cool.
It does. Yeah, you're right.
I was trying to explain Ms. Marvel to my friends. Just we were debating over what her powers really meant and stuff like that, and it was just like, I don't know. In a game, it just feels like she's just going to shapeshift a bit, but I've not really read the comics for her, so I don't know about. It mentions that she's got like a time travel-y power to her shapeshifting. I don't really get how that works, so I need to go read some comics to understand it, I think.
Splendid.
It's like a plan.
I tell you what, probably won't be Game of the Year. Iron Man VR. Not because it's not good, but because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to play it again after dropping 90 quid on it to get the game and the two waggle sticks. I haven't really used PlayStation VR up until this point because nothing's really appealed to me on it. So I put it on, and Anna was talking me through how to behave correctly with it and not smash everything and giving me all my lectures and stuff. And while she's telling me what to do, I'm sat there thinking, why does it look like it's PS2 quality graphics? What on earth is going on here? And I'm adjusting the headset, trying to make it not look awful. And I eventually got to the point where if I squinted a little bit and pretended and lied to myself, I could just about convince myself, okay, this might be early PS3 era now. But it looks horrific in there. And then the game loads up, and it's very clunky. The whole system is very clunky. Like they've got all of the right buttons on the waggle sticks, but they're not in the same place they are on a controller. And obviously you can't look at the thing when you've got the headset on. So it tells you to press a certain button, and I'm pressing every button on the things, and it's like, well, I don't know where these buttons are. I can't look down to see. it's not giving me any visual clues on the screen. I've literally
He was
got to
struggling, bless
just press
him.
every button until something happens.
Is this a legit game, or is it like a pared back demo type thing that's been sold at a high price?
Once
Do you know what
I
I mean?
eventually got into the game, which I'll continue with my ordeal that got me there. Once I got the control, figured out how to use the controllers, then trying to find a suitable place to actually be able to play it was a challenge, because you have to be looking dead straight onto the screen with the camera at just the right height, with you at just the right height, with just the right distance between you and the TV.
But to counter that, I have set this up for me, not for you.
Yeah.
So the
but
way you set up...
my point
So you
is,
should have sat down.
yeah, well, I did, but the problem with sitting down is you can't really play the game sitting down because of the motions that you need to be able to do it. You kind of need to be standing up. So, with me being 6'2" and the TV being at a normal TV height, I can only assume for me to be able to play it properly, we need like a 20-foot living room.
You just need to
Which
sit on the
obviously we
sofa,
don't
not
have.
the chair.
Or we need to put the TV and the camera on a big old box. But then you're still not going to see the lower part of me on the cameras. So we've kind of fashioned together a situation where I was sort of sitting down. But the problem is, once you then get into the game, in order to choose the direction that you're flying in with Iron Man, it's all to do with what direction you're holding the hand thrusters in when you're pressing the thruster button. So if I want to go forwards, I need the game to see that I've got both of my hands down with my palms facing backwards and pressing those buttons. And because of the angle I was having to sit at, it could very rarely see both of the waggle sticks because I'm trying to contort around to make it see it. So I'm constantly flying from side to side, trying to get it to recognise that really wasn't helping with the motion sickness. I'm lurching from side to side with these things, and then I eventually got it under control. So the first thing I did was, once I figured out how to just about get the flying under control, was fly to Tony's house, because I thought, I'm going to fly to his house, I'm going to land, and I'm going to have a look around. So I flew to his house, I landed, and then I thought, right, well, where's the analog stick on this thing then? Oh, there isn't one. How do I walk around then? Oh, I can't. Literally all you can do is fly around as Iron Man. From what I mean, I am only 20 minutes in because I got travel sick, but I just sort of took off again and went and shot some targets. And I think what we're going to... Because changing direction is a bit clunky, because you obviously can't keep spinning around because you get tangled in the wire, because it's not a wireless system. So for you to be able to get what's behind you, you have to press a button to kind of spin the camera view around. So it will turn your head a little bit, but if you realise you're turning a long way, you can jump like 45 degrees with the camera view. So the view is rotating around you rather than you turning into the view. So I kind of found myself trying to change direction by just kind of looking straight on and then just... Again, lurching back and forth 45 degrees on this view with my hands down behind my sides. Then when I needed to shoot, you pull your hands up and shoot at stuff out of his hands. But I can only assume, and I know nothing about this game, I didn't need any more information than you get to be Iron Man in VR, and that was enough for me to buy it. So I've read nothing about it. But based on the tutorial I've done, and I think I'm most of the way through the tutorial. I've done the shooting training, I've done the flying around training, I've flown from point A to point B to point C to prove that I can, and all that kind of training stuff. And based on the tutorial that I've done, the only type of game I can see this being is an on-rails shooter. I don't see how it can be anything else. Now, whether that's what it ends up being, I don't know, and I'll feedback more next week once I've played it a little bit more. But if this is literally just effectively an on-rails light gun game, because you can't really change direction very well with the actual VR. So all you're really doing is you're wearing a silly headset that makes it look like it's 720p and aiming these waggle sticks and then pressing triggers on them. And I just felt like I was playing Duck Hunt in an Iron Man suit. And if that's what it is, I would like my £90 back, please.
It seems like really bad design that you have to be lined up with a telly and you have to
It's not. No,
Surely
but Kevin's very big.
Yeah, it's the limitations of the tech, I guess. I imagine if this game was on Pab's fancy VR, I'm sure it would be a different story.
Yeah, but imagine the Wii,
yeah.
for God's sakes. That doesn't need you to be lined up with a specially equipped telly or whatever, does it? In a special room. It just reads where the sticks are. So why isn't this reading that the sticks are in a certain point?
It needs to see the lights on the sticks. So the camera needs to be able to track where the lights are.
But why design it with a need for a camera? That just seems...
To make it cheaper, I guess. I
understand.
don't know. I guess they had their reasons. Maybe it's more accurate. Maybe it's cheaper. But what it means is, unless I'm at an angle where it can see the light on the end of the stick, it doesn't know the stick is there. So that stick then becomes
I know
useless.
you said you have to have a 20-foot living room, but standing further back would be the answer.
Oh, he can't stand.
When I did stand up, but I think it's because I went from seating to standing with the thing still on, and that it was like 10 seconds, and I had to stop because that just ruined me. Motion sickness going from seating to standing, but it's because the camera needs to be able to see the light on the top of the VR thing and the lights on the waggle sticks at the same time. And when I'm holding these waggle sticks down by my side to be able to fly forward,
but you'll point it behind your leg.
Yeah, but there's a good 4 feet difference between the top light and the bottom light there, and I'm sat only 3 feet away from this camera.
You're pointing it behind your leg.
Yes, but my point is, even if I wasn't, the camera from the range I was at couldn't possibly go wide enough. And if I moved forward even like 3 inches, it would say "Get back in the play area," whereas I could go back loads. So I think I just need to be further away. But there's not really anywhere for me to be further away.
On the sofa.
And also, yeah, but when I got as far as the sofa, the cable to the headset was starting to pull tight. I couldn't go.
Only because I hadn't took the rest of it out.
Well,
because I was yanking it.
I didn't know that. I had a headset on. I couldn't see. What I knew is I stepped a foot further away and couldn't bring my head with the rest of my body because I was being pulled back in the other direction.
For those of you that aren't broken like Kev and I, when you go on VR, and this might be more of a question for Pab with his fancier set, but do you feel like you're in... Do you kind of get used to being in it? Like, I'm not expecting you to suddenly feel like you're in Red Dwarf version of it, where you're like wandering around in a field, but do you feel immersed, or do you just feel like you're looking at a weird screen? Because I've only ever experienced a VR set at a gadget show where we were going down a mine shaft, and it made me feel sick. I did one at the autism show that showed you what a meltdown was like, and it just made me feel incredibly sick and sad. And I think I had to go on one like the one Dean has where it's all 3D shapes, but again I felt like I was watching a video. I've never been on a proper one where it feels like, oh, I'm there, I'm looking around. And do you feel like you're properly immersed with it, Pab?
It depends on the game, realistically. That's all I can tell you. Certain games are better than others. Half-Life Alyx is very good. Half-Life Alyx is very, very good. Like I say, it all depends. There's so many different games. Like there's a lot of games are designed to just be fun and not to get you immersed. Some games are designed to like kind of be like a showcase of the tech sort of thing. So they're not really a game either. They're just kind of showing off what they can do. I mean,
I feel like Iron Man is one of them.
Potentially, but yeah, I would be interested to see if this does actually come to other stuff, or whether it's a. I'm fairly certain it's a Sony exclusive that isn't a timed exclusive. I think, which makes no sense to me. I don't see the point in putting games only on one system when it's such a niche market as it is. Put it on everything and get some sales, because otherwise it's going to be on the PSVR, and that's it. And you know what I mean? You can get so many more sales if you put it open to everybody, but it is what
it is.
Are the
waggle sticks used on anything else, or are they?
Oh yeah,
there's lots of games.
That's the primary use of that. You know, in that system, that is what they are used for. So, yeah,
they're like the old ones with the light on top.
They're exactly those. Yeah, if we hadn't lost those, then we could have used those.
Oh, it's them. Okay.
Yeah, I've got one. I remember buying 2, but I can only find 1. So we have 3 now. Yay! But like I looked at Beat Saber. And that looked okay. And then I looked at the Tetris Effect, and I was like, "Oh, I want this. Let's have a look how much it is." Oh yeah, it's £35.
Yep.
I was like, I ain't got. Like, I've just had to buy for 2. But like, there's 2 birthdays coming up, so I had to spend.
One's mine, everybody.
Yeah, and I had to spend money on that, so I'm not getting that this month, unfortunately. But it did look fun.
Keep an eye on a sale, because That one is a game you can lose yourself in.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're not like trying to move around or anything. You're just in like a deprivation tank pretty much, and there's a light show going on in front of you, and you're playing Tetris at the same time. And there's like music. It's from the guy who made Lumines. So
okay.
If they hurried up and made games where I could literally just put it on and I was in a completely void, maybe I'd just put it on without any power. I could just I'm playing a game, and then just lay there completely void of sound and relax. I want to get one of those.
Maybe you need to get a weighted blanket.
I want to get one of those sensory deprivation tanks. When my plan to convert the pantry into a sensory room fails because he'll never bloody use it, I'm going to stuff a sensory deprivation tank in there, and I'm just going to lay in that. That's my plan.
You can get experience days of that.
I really may. I was thinking about it and wondering whether that's what I might get for my birthday. But I'm worried it'll be really boring. Part of me wants to just go in there with my Switch just in the shorts, and then if it gets really bored, I'll just pull my Switch out and just play a game. But my only knowledge of them comes from that Simpsons episode where he ends up being shipped across country and floating down a river in one. So I don't know what to expect.
I see.
Yeah.
Splendid. So yeah, that was Iron Man VR. Let me know what you think of it, boys and girls.
Would you play it again?
I'm going to try, because I want to at least get past the tutorial. And I think if I can get myself set up at the right angle and not stand up midway through, so either start standing up, which I think it was just a transition from sitting down to standing up with the thing on, and I think it just wrecked me. So if I start it standing up, but we're going to have to clear a space around me because I will flail.
Yeah, you had just ordered dinner, and then maybe I will go an Iron Man. That's it. Oh.
It's a very good impression of my actual voice that you've done there.
Oh, it's excellent, isn't it?
See, from what I remember...
Sorry,
go on. Oh, sorry. What I remember, there isn't like a protection system in the PSVR, is it? So it's not like a Guardian sort of thing. How do I explain this now? So in the Oculus one, right? So the Oculus, it sets up and it goes, what's your environment? What is it? And it literally turns the cameras on the outside.
Yeah.
And you can see what's funny. You draw a line around where you can play.
No.
And then you go, is this what you want to do? And you go, yeah. And then so you get anywhere near that the edge of that space, like a red wall will come up in front of you, and they say there's something there. Don't be swinging around here because you're going to punch a wall or something.
Because wherever I am, I'm right at the edge of the space that I can play in, and I think that's the big issue with us and using VR in our living room. We don't have any space for it really, unless we can just sit in a chair and use it, which doesn't really work with this game. Then I don't.
No, but like Astrobot, that's fine.
Yes.
That was fine. I could do everything I wanted to do, but then with this, where you are looking around, like I had no interest in playing this whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I was at an expo, I played the Batman one, and that made me feel really ill. So I was like,
the Batman one's good. That one is
it is. Like it looks good, but it made me feel so ill because it made me start going down a chute, and I couldn't hack it.
You know what the Batman one is? The Batman one is just the detective mode of the Arkham games. That's all it is. Unless you're just investigating crime scenes.
Oh, not when I played it. It wasn't.
Oh no! What you're doing?
She was committing crimes.
What you're doing, Anna? I imagine you are probably going down into the Batcave. Is what you do right at the start of the game, where you push the piano thing and you initiate the thing, and then you get taken down through into the Batcave, like through an elevator type thing, and you put the mask on and you put the suit on and stuff. Yeah. It's cool. It's a very cool game. It's a very cool game. Now.
I'd have to do it sitting down because because I felt like I was in it and I was going down, but I didn't have the sensation of going down. It made me feel very ill, and I got very hot, and I was just like, no, I can't. Like I was like, this looks really good, but I cannot do this standing up. So I took it off and handed it back to him because it made me want to vomit. And I don't get travel sick, but that made me feel awful. I'm thinking of it now. It's horrible. Ugh, no, thank you.
Splendid. What else have we been playing then, boys and girls?
What have I done?
I've pretty much done that Isle of Armor add-on now from Pokemon. I realised, and I messaged, because the only person I can think of that would care is Lewis, who I mentioned before, who helped me complete the decks. But if anyone out there does care about Pokemon Home and Pokemon and collecting them all and that kind of thing, it has been quite mad on Pokemon Home this week that people will the new Pokemon you get in the Isle of Armor update, one called Cubfu and one called Urshifu, who are like Kung Fu bears, and people will trade anything for them. It is insane. Like I have just been trading them for trash, and then like that I've got lying around, and then retrading them for the really hard stuff to get, and then passing that over to Ollie to complete his Pokedex a bit further. And I messaged Lewis just saying, you want to just get on there, because there's someone on there looking for, like, I don't know, a Weedle, which is rubbish, and then someone else is on there looking for the best legendary in the game in return for one, because no one seems to have married up the fact that they could just trade each other. So, yeah, if you're into any of that and you're trying to complete your decks, now's the time to seem to do it, because people have just lost their minds. So I've been harvesting the people's desperation, which has been quite fun. It's kept me kind of hooked on it. It got Ollie back into Pokemon a little bit, which was quite fun, because he'd kind of got a bit whatever, it's all the same, and suddenly he's back on it, which is handy because they've just started the Go Fest stuff on Pokemon Go. And I remember last year, Kev, you got interested in the fact they had the returning to the game challenge thing. It's obviously getting hot, and they're saying, right, everyone's playing it again, here's the how to play it reminder challenges, catch 50 Pokemon, do this.
The only way they're getting me back in this year is if they also get rid of COVID. If they can't do that with it, I ain't going hanging around with a bunch of sweaty nerds at Pokestops.
You don't need to now. They're giving you free remote passes.
I had this conversation with
things.
somebody on my stream last night, and I think I upset them, because Pokemon Go is lots of fun when you're out and about, and the only game you can really play is Pokemon Go. If I'm in my house,
I see what you mean.
I have 1,000 more interesting things I could be doing.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, no, it's a good toilet game, though. Or
I've got a Switch and an iPad and a phone.
Yeah.
I don't need it. If we can get back to the point where I'm out and about with nothing to do, I'll pull this out and have a little go on it. I ain't going to sit here doing it from my house.
Yeah, fair enough. But no, they're doing their Go Fest stuff at the moment. I'm quite pleased in one way that they couldn't do their big invite 100,000 people to a city event. They've had to do just sell the tickets to everyone at home instead event. And that's been much better, because I can just buy a ticket, take part in the event, and not have to travel to Chicago to do it. But it does feel like, against every fibre of my body, spending £15 on a mobile phone game event just feels ridiculous. But I will do it because I'm a sucker, and it does seem like they're putting a lot of effort into it. There's a lot of stuff going on there. There's like a big build up to it, and then a 2-day event that you can go out, and it'll, I don't know.
You shouldn't be going out though.
Well, not out. I just mean they're adding like I can't really explain it. They're adding like environments to the game that mean that extra stuff will spawn. You're allowed to go out and walk anyway, like your daily exercise. We walked around the whole of town this Saturday last week. Started at our house, walked around to the chip shop we mentioned earlier. My wife nipped in the co-op while we sat in the car park, and then we walked home. And
but what's happening in Leicester and London? It's doing my head in now, because no one would listen. Then tomorrow,
it is weird. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. We weren't like licking people's faces. My kids are funny because they hold their breath if they see anyone getting close. It's really cute. I didn't tell them to do that. They've just decided that if they don't breathe when people are within like 4 meters of them, they'll be all right. I mean, they can't take that too far, because if people stand 4 meters from them for more than 30 seconds, they're gonna COVID ain't gonna get a chance to get them. But yeah, they've been doing really well. We had the in-laws round for a barbecue on Sunday, which was nice. They had to stay there 2 meters. Again, we held our breath whenever anyone needed to pass each other, but it was nice. It's much more sheepdog friendly, because people don't invade my personal space. I don't have to see loads of people, and people hold their breath when I walk past them, which
means they don't catch the smell, which is always good.
Yeah, this is almost like if we could just relax a little bit further, not too far, and this is how I want the world to be forever. Just everyone leave me alone. Don't expect me to go out. Don't make me go to crowded places. All good.
Don't say that, Sheepdog. I need my EGX and my Comic-Con and all these other things that have now been cancelled.
Yeah, but they'll have to adapt. If they adapt to the point where I can walk through EGX and Comic-Con without some stupid nerd just ploughing through me.
I love the stupid nerds. I love all that. That's fun. I like being around all those people.
Yeah, but do you not find it really frustrating how often people just barge through you like they didn't realise you were
usually
there?
the barger. I'm usually holding a camera and just walking through people.
Oh yeah, the amount of time that Kevin's gonna walk into somebody.
I did something the other day that I haven't done for years, and I went up to my suitcase and just got my emergency coffee out of it and thought, might as well just put this in the kitchen now. This will have gone off before I use this suitcase again. Normally, I am in that. I'm using that suitcase every 6 weeks. Absolute maximum 6 weeks.
Wasn't the last time like February?
Last time was February. Every trip for the rest of the year now is cancelled. I might even have to put the suitcase away, and that suitcase just lives on the floor next to our bed because I use it so often. But it might actually go away now.
I do like our adventures, but I do have like a recovery couple of days afterwards, and I'm quite excited at the thought that I'll be able to go to EGX and Comic-Con without coming back with black snot and a horrible cold. Like, it'd be really nice if from now on we can go to massive events without coming back with the plague, because that
only ever affected you. I mean, I've had hand sanitizer in my bag every event we've been to for years, and I never got ill off the back of these events. I think you just need to clean yourself a little more often.
Well, I think
monster.
I took hand sanitizer and it helped a lot. I think the first few times you went, I just wasn't prepared, but I still always end up with some horrible cold. I don't know, but it's it'll be. I'm hoping the world just gets a bit better at avoiding that. Flu season might not be as bad and stuff like that because people might realise their actions affect other people. But as Anna said, they're not really realising that so far. Pubs open tomorrow, innit? So
it's ridiculous.
I mean, the murder rate's going to shoot through the roof with all these people going, "I'll have a pint of Corona, but withhold the virus, please." Like people are just going to be decked. There's going to be so many fights tomorrow.
Well, no, apparently round here, you have to book a table. You only get the table for a certain amount of time. You can only have a certain
90 minutes,
amount.
I think it was.
Only have a certain amount of drinks and must keep your distance. That's what I've heard is going on in.
I kind of want to be a fly on the wall when at 12:30 tomorrow, after a big table full of rugby lads are on their third pint each, they get told to leave and not come back for the rest of the day. I want to see how this turns out. I don't think they're leaving.
Surely that's just going to lead to pub cruise. It's going to be pub cruise galore.
No, but you have to book.
But the thing is, that's just around here. If you're in a big city, you just literally you turn up at Wetherspoons, you use the app. You know.
But could you imagine if we were meatheads? If we were meatheads, Kev, I'd have been on to you earlier today. Kev, I've got it booked. We're gonna be at whatever it's called, Waterton's. I can't remember the name of it. 12 o'clock. They're gonna kick us out after an hour. We're gonna go down to the Bell. After an hour in the Bell, we're gonna go to whatever the next pub's called. And I'd have had it all mapped out, and we'd have done the Deep in 4 miles, whatever it's called, all 12 pubs. We'd have finished at the Vine. It would have been 8 o'clock. We'd have watched every rugby match on, every football match on, and then I'll get you home, man. Don't you worry, mate. It'll be fine. And we'll be back at yours drinking tins, probably from Tesco's, and that's what they're going to be doing. They'll have already booked it. They're not stupid.
They literally are stupid. That's the point.
Well, they are stupid, but they're stupid enough that they'll have booked it. It'll be all sorted. That pub crawl, I mean, I'm almost tempted to go out on it now. I'm thinking, right, I better start booking this. This sounds great. Get my mates up. We'll walk around deep in. But you know full well that's what's going on. I did see somebody go, if you know the right people, the pubs haven't even been shut.
Oh,
and
that's
I just
ridiculous.
thought, that's so annoying. That's so annoying that if you know the right people, you've just been pubbing it anyway. Like, you just don't get it, do you? You just don't get it. That was the worst thing I think I've read all week. Someone saying that. It's like, just showing off.
I really don't like people.
Yeah. Because it's just... I could get it if he was like, if you know the right people, you can always get a doctor's appointment. I'm like, yeah, fair enough. That's important. God.
Goodness me. Have we got any more games to talk about?
I don't think so. Pokemon and Last of Us are all I've had time for this week.
Well, in
No.
that case, we need 4 minutes of performance poetry from Pab to finish finish out the hour.
This is me. You would not get a week gone by where we don't have an Animal Crossing update.
Well, Pab, I said twice now in this podcast, I've said, have we got any more
won't let him
games?
speak.
And you've gone,
and I can't get a
means
word in
no.
edgeways.
No, you
I can't
won't
get a
let
word
him
in edgeways.
speak.
Exactly. Thank you, Anna.
We need
So-
to speak.
So not only
Oh,
this
stop
week.
going on, Pab. Goodness me.
I know,
Kevin!
just- you got 4 minutes to get here. Okay, so this week it has been Canada Day. Do you all celebrate Canada Day this week?
It's pronounced Canada Day.
It's much as
No.
always.
Yeah, we celebrated Canada Day this week. One of my followers on Twitch is Canadian, and we celebrated Canada Day on Animal Crossing this week. It was fun. We got some like Canadian flag costumes and did some games on her island, and we did some scavenger hunts and all sorts of other stuff, and got all sorts of random prizes. So we've been doing that. That was a fun day to be had. What else has come out today? Today is the big summer update.
Was
The
that
big summer
today?
update is today, yes.
Okay.
And swimming is in the game now. We now have swimming.
Yeah, but is it just swimming, or is it swimming to do something? Do you swim to?
Okay, so
find
swimming,
stuff?
you swim around. You know there's new clothes in the game. So you've now got swimming costumes and wetsuits and stuff like that, and
Okay.
snorkels and water shoes or whatever they call them. And so there's that aspect of it. There's no, not flippers, like just water shoes. And then you have the new creatures in the game. So you because you have all your swim gear on, you can go diving, and there's like bubbles pop up on the top of the sea sort of thing, and you just kind of dive down and you chase to catch whatever it is, and you pick it up and you get a new creature. And there's a whole new section of not a section of the museum, but there's a whole new section of the Critterpedia for sea creatures
I'll be
now.
playing it tomorrow with them.
There's also a new interaction. I think there's a new interaction. They classed it on the trailer for it. Pascal, I think he's an otter. And he loves scallops. And if you get a scallop,
They're from the
exactly.
beach, aren't they?
Well, you find him in the ocean.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, he turns up he turns up once a day. Whenever you get a scallop, the first scallop of the day you find, he will turn up and go, "Can I have that? Can I have that, mate?" And you go, and I initially went, "No, it's going in the museum. How dare you?"
Okay.
And everyone was like, "What are you doing? Give it to him." I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean give it to him?" And he went, "So this guy will give you items and give you new recipes for crafting recipes.
Okay.
So you want to be like feeding Pascal. But it's been fun. Like I say, it's come out literally today. And we had a party of like 4 of us go over to someone's island, and we all just swam around the island, just having a potter about in the sea, diving off you run off like the edge of the pier, and you jump at the right time. You do a somersault into the water, which is cool. So yeah, it's an injection of more stuff into the game. It's exactly what it needs to do. It's the kind of like just drip feeding you like bits and bits at a time now, and it's kind of keeping it ticking over. It's keeping it fresh, sort of thing. And it's now put there's so many different like new things in it, like creatures to collect and stuff. It's like now if I was just playing it, just do dailies, like do the money tree, do the money rock, do the items in the trees, get your fossils and stuff. And now it's like, get the scallop for Pascal, get new creatures in the sea. Plus, the July update, the July bugs in and out now there's so many bugs that I'm falling over bugs for, new bugs constantly. There's probably 20 new bugs this time.
Well, I
There's
played
not
the
as many.
bug thing the other day, and
Oh,
again, it was
the bug off. I forgot about that. The bug off was on last weekend as well.
It was
Forgot about that.
again 3 minutes, catch. I was like, no.
3 minutes, yep.
I hate that
So-
because before, in the old ones, it'd be an all-day thing, and you'd just catch it as many as you can,
Yes.
and then you would get something for it. And now it's like, no, you got 3 minutes. I'm like, I don't really want to. I want to just leisurely do it as it when I feel like it. I don't like having a time limit. It annoys me.
Yeah. So I mean, I can see that and I can see the way they do it. I don't know. It can be a bit tedious. One thing I did see, I streamed last Saturday for this, and what I did, I got people in to the stream, and we did it as a group, and everyone, you contribute as a team. You then play it as a team. Then, so in that 3 minutes, you've got 4 of you going around catching stuff instead of just one. So it kind of made it it went faster. You know, when you're trying to get this stuff, it's also harder to catch stuff because other people are catching the things you would normally be getting as well.
Yeah.
But overall, I think I got a silver medal in the end. I played it for about 4 hours on Saturday, and I was like,
What, just catching bugs?
Just catching bugs, yeah. Just catching bugs. I mean, it wasn't just that. I mean, we went to multiple people's islands because everybody came to my island for a bit, and then we went to somebody else's island for a bit because then it gives them a chance to do it on their island and what have you. So we did that, and it was fun though. It was a fun afternoon, to be fair, doing the bug catching.
I love how much this has got you, Pab.
Oh no, it's the last.
I absolutely love it.
Here we go. Here's the thing, right? So I got enthralled. I don't know if we must have mentioned it. The recent Cyrus, the alpacas who want to do wedding photo shoots for June, and you would go there on a daily basis to get to, and you'd redesign the room that they're in. They would say, "Oh, I want it to look chic. I want it to look like this. I want it to look like that." And you would have to design. You have to a set of items in your inventory, and you have to make it look like that thing. And I got really into it. I got really into trying to make this room look like what they wanted. And now, obviously, that's gone now. And I thought, I kind of enjoyed that. So I thought, wasn't there a 3DS game that was similar to this? So I've now purchased myself Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer on the 3DS.
You're streaming your 3DS thing.
No, I wished I could. I've looked into how to stream a 3DS. It is impossibly hard.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's impossibly hard.
Can't you just get one of those special cameras to just lean over your hands?
I mean,
like
that's just it. That's not ideal. That's not the ideal way you want to do it. But yeah, there might be some updates on that next week because it just happened to come up in my feed yesterday. It was like £2 at Argos, and I went £2. I'm like, yeah, go on then. It cost me twice as much for that to get it delivered.
What, the game?
Yeah, it cost me. I was sort of like, for £2, sure, why not? Let's give it a go. Because if it's half as good as what I've been doing in New Horizons, then sure, it'll
I've got
be
a
worth the
potentially
£2.
dumb question, but where would the law stand if you owned the game and the console, but then you got an emulator so you could stream it? Do you reckon that would be a bit too?
That's inferior. That is inferior legal.
Yeah,
inferior. That is, yeah.
Because I wondered about that a while back. I thought I've been thinking of ideas for things I could stream, and I thought one of the things I really want to do is go back and complete all the games I never completed, and a lot of them are really old, and some of them I own on Steam, but some of them I can't get. But I thought, I own them, I own the console. What if I just streamed it?
I'll be honest with you. There's that many people probably doing that. I doubt that people are going to. If you are going to be one of the most unlucky people on earth if they clamp down on you for that. That's insane.
But I am unlucky, and I just thought it might be something that spurred me through.
Sheepdog's going to prison.
Okay. Speaking of, getting told off, I'm sat here flicking through Twitter thinking, how dare Kev be tweeting about breakfast cereal that's Minecraft and random tags, and then realise I can't really criticise him for being on Twitter when I'm scrolling through his tweets. But yeah, I just see that Minecraft.
I just noticed Greek Odyssey is currently trending on Twitter, and considering my current Football Manager series is called Greek Odyssey, I felt like that was a perfect opportunity to jump on this trending hashtag and get the link out there.
You didn't actually tweet the link, though, because I tried to see whether they were actually talking about you. Did you now?
I did. I did a follow-up tweet.
Okay, I've not seen that one yet. I took a picture of the Minecraft breakfast cereal and sent it to my wife, though.
Yeah, I tagged Anna in that. I want Minecraft breakfast cereal, Anna. It's called Creeper Crunch. It's called Creeper Crunch. You do go on
It's like
Twitter.
Lucky Charms.
It's cinnamon flavour cereal with marshmallows, which just sounds amazing.
Oh, but that won't be vegetarian, will it? Stupid marshmallows made out of pig guts or whatever.
Well, you just pick the marshmallows out, Sheepdog.
Yeah.
No point, then.
At least you could give me the marshmallows. I'm not vegetarian. I'll have double marshmallow in mine.
Post them through your letterbox.
Yeah, make sure you hand sanitize them first. I don't want your disgusting sheepdog germs. Right, are we done? Pab, you're gonna have to edit half of that out because you were given 4 minutes and you talked for 8.
I talked for the 4. It was everybody else that talked for the other 4.
Edit them out then. I'm not. We want this as a tight hour, or I refuse to do it again next week.
Okay, I'll look into it.
There's a good boy. I'll probably check.
Mm-hmm.
Right, boys and girls, if you want to see all about me tweeting about Greek Odyssey and Minecraft cereal, the place to do that, believe it or not, is Twitter. In addition to me having a presence there, this is a long-winded way to do this, we do have a podcast Twitter account at MGUK Podcast, or you can follow me everywhere at Lelujo.
I'm at RB6K or Sheepdog 6K, depending on where you are.
And he's not going to tell you which one's where.
Nope.
I'm at Miss Lelujo on Twitter. I don't really go anywhere else, so.
And I'm at Pab1986 on Twitter and Twitch.
Splendid. See you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening, folks.